Welcome to Hush. I've been talking about being human, and I'd like to go a little deeper into that. I think it's a really important topic because the more I talk about it, the more I see within myself and in the world how we aren't allowing each other to be human. And I know I gave this clause last time, and I'm going to give it again because it's so important. There are people that truly don't have humanity. And I don't know how many of them are out there, but there seems to be a significant number of people that don't have the ability to be compassionate. They live off of what serves them in the moment and what's going to make them look good and feel good. So those people are not the people that we're talking about here. Because if you know somebody who has crossed over that line where they're just not going to take responsibility for their part in things, they're not going to look at anything in their life, they're always going to point the finger, and it's most often going to be pointed back at you because you're the one around them. Those are people that it's not my place to tell anyone to do anything, but I would encourage you to walk away. Set healthy boundaries, walk away. Those are people that don't belong even in your acquaintance bubble. It's like, okay, you can stay on the other side of the room. We can't make them go away or not exist, but we don't have to engage with them. That is not the type of person I'm talking about in this video. In this video, I'm talking about everyone else. So all the other people in the world, which I'd like to believe is the majority of people. I have met some amazing, wonderful people over the last few years, and I am so grateful to know some really genuine, awesome, loving people. And you know what? They're not perfect. Sometimes they do things that hurt me. Sometimes they do things that hurt them. The difference is we are able to talk about it and say, hey, that hurt me. And, oh, wow, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that hurt you. Why did it hurt you? Oh, okay, I get that now. I'll be more thoughtful. Or, hey, this is something that I'm going to do again because of XYZ, and I understand you're triggered by it. How can we work through this? Right? A big point, triggers, because I just brought it up. My triggers are my responsibility. If I'm triggered because something happened to me in my past, I can't expect other people to be able to read my mind, know my past, know what's going to trigger me, and walk on eggshells around that. And I think that's a really important piece to this. It's part of being human. I have to take responsibility for my triggers. I see so often people triggered because of their past, and then friendships end. Relationships end over it. Family stops talking. Instead of working through it and talking that out and taking some ownership of our own triggers, it's just, oh, well, they hurt me, so now they're no good, and now they're out. And when we treat others this way, it's typically an indication that we're treating ourselves that way. And if we're treating ourselves that way, then we're not allowing ourselves to be human. And so we're living in an impossible world. Because how can we be human in a world where we're not allowed to be human? It's kind of how I feel with my custody case. I'm not a perfect mom because I'm human. I make mistakes. Sometimes I hurt my kids' feelings, and then I need to work through that with them and apologize and adjust. Sometimes I get really overwhelmed with their behaviors and I yell. And then we talk about it afterwards. But when you're in a custody battle and you do anything that the other parent can see or hear from the children that you did wrong, it all of a sudden becomes magnified to this horrific thing as if this is who you are. And that's not who I am. I'm not somebody who yells at my children. But sometimes I yell at my children. I'm not somebody who discards my children's feelings. But sometimes, in some moments, I disregard their feelings. And, you know, there's parents that do yell and do disregard feelings. And that's something for them to take a look at. But just because we have human moments doesn't mean that's who we are, right? And I continue to see friendships fail. I continue to see two good people who can no longer be in each other's lives simply because they're not allowing each other to be human. And lack of communication, I mean, who doesn't know that communication is a massive issue in humanity? We have a lot of challenges communicating because we communicate and it causes issues because people get triggered, and then we blame the communication, and the communication isn't the problem. The communication is the solution if we stay in it, right? But within that communication, we have to allow others to be human, to make mistakes. You know, I'm in an amazing relationship with the most incredible man that maybe I've ever met in my lifetime. But because he's so giving and he's so thoughtful, sometimes he's so giving and thoughtful to other people that he disregards me. Now, most of the time he's being giving and thoughtful to me. He's amazing. And I wouldn't have such an amazing man if he wasn't so giving and thoughtful. So I need to step back and be like, okay, well, this is who he is. He's not going to just be that way with me and for me all the time. I have to allow him to be human and to have a life and apart from me. And I don't know if this is the best example. There's so many of them, but I don't want to use my friends either and what they're going through. And, you know, because me and my partner aren't having any issues right now. So it's not like I can really use an example like that. But there are times that I get really hurt. And it's like, wow, you really went above and beyond for this other person. How much do I really matter to you? And that's just me being triggered. That's my stuff. Like, hey, he's got his own life. He's got other people, and he's a great guy. So let him go be the great guy that he is, you know? And I have to work through that. And no matter how great he is, you know, there's moments where he's feeling some kind of way and he needs space and he needs to just be human and feel. And I need to allow that. And I'm really grateful that I've learned that today and that it's at the forefront of my life. My children. It's helping me with my children. Because my children don't need to be perfect. And I used to be that mom, and I hate to admit that, but I did that to my oldest children when they were young. They had to be perfect. They couldn't spill anything. They couldn't have any messes. They couldn't do anything because I was in a space. Things were rough. And I couldn't handle one more mess. I couldn't handle one more thing. And so I created an environment of needing to be perfect. And a lot of that was just a reflection of my own inner world because I felt like I had to be perfect. And I am so grateful today that I get to allow my children to be human rather than perfect. It is creating a love between us and a relationship with my children that I didn't even realize I could have. Because I've always had a close relationship with my kids. We've always been loving and close, and hugs and kisses and bedtime and back rubs and all that good stuff. Those are things that I always did really well, cultivating that relationship and that love between us. But that edge of needing to be perfect caused a divide that I didn't realize how big it was until I started to just let them be human. And there's a lot more there, especially with my kids and everything that's gone on the last year. But that is something that through it all I have been noticing. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about this to continue to encourage everyone to first allow yourself to be human and then allow others to be human. And I dare say if you learn how to let yourself be human, it's going to be second nature to allow that for others. because everything stems from within us, right? When we love ourselves, we're open to love others. When we hate ourselves, we tend to hate others. When we're super judgmental of ourselves, we're super judgmental of others. And another great thing that I have realized through all of this is that whatever somebody's treating me as is a reflection of their inner state. So when someone's judging me, I go, oh wow, they must judge themselves a lot. And it actually allows me to have compassion in the moment for them, instead of what I used to do, which is, oh God, they're judging me. Oh God, I'm not perfect. Oh God, I messed up. I need to be better. I need to do more. I used to live like that. It was exhausting. I don't have to live like that anymore. So I'm going to live this day letting myself be human and allowing those around me to be human as well. And I encourage you to do the same. Until next time, Jill.